A lot of you, my contacts, my viewers, have at least invested in one real estate. Although I know that a lot of you guys have multiple real estate investments in different locations, and some might have sold before, some might be considering selling, and some might also be wondering that even this property that they are buying, when can they sell? So in this episode of Meet the Property Guy, we'll be looking at 5 signs you should not sell yet. Yes, 5 signs that real estate that investment have not matured yet, and you should not be selling. So in case you are coming across a video like this for the first time, please Meet the Property Guy property channel, and this way we discuss everything real estate for those who want to buy, invest, or sell real estate. We share tips, guides, and advice on everything you need to know, from risk, prices, return on investments, terms, clauses, property titles, property documents. We share enough guides for you. And for investors, we have a playlist, Property Investor Series. Our advice is also go through that playlist. There are so many topics we have covered on that playlist that you are going to learn a lot from. So let's go into the topic: 5 signs you should not sell that real estate yet. Now, it's relatively very easy to buy real estate, but it may be a bit tough, hard, and difficult for you to understand, decide, and determine if you should sell, wait, or still continue holding that real estate. Now, the first sign that you should not sell that real estate yet is if the company are still selling. Yes, if the company are still selling, you should not sell yet. Now, the key of every real estate investment is you should sell when you have less competition, and you should sell when whatever price you set on that property, people will be willing to pay. So that's why when the company are still selling, you should still be holding, not selling. Now, the second sign that you should not sell that real estate yet is if it's investors that are still buying. Now, I've explained this in one of my previous episodes, that when the location is opening up, the first set of people that are going to go to that location will be investors. Now, when the location opens up more and start developing, now then this next set of people that will be interested to buy there now will be people that want to stay there. That's when you should target to sell. When people that want to buy are people that want to stay or do business there. So when the location have opened up for businesses, there are schools, there are offices, there are mats around, there are people staying, there are people already looking for rental homes in that location, then you can sell. But when the location is still strictly for investors, then you should not sell yet, because investors are always looking for something cheap. They're always looking for something affordable. You won't be able to sell that property at the market value for an investor. So, but when you are selling for people that want to use the place for business, they want to use the place for a personal home, then you can sell at the actual market value, because they are interested in that location. They have a preference in that location. But if it's investors that are still buying, investors like you that invested in that location that are still buying, then you should hold that real estate, not sell. Now, the third sign you should not sell that real estate yet is when the return on investment, ROI, is low. Some people invested few years ago in Mowe when it was 700k or 800k, and they sold that land at maybe 1.2 million. Some people sold at 1 million. They did not hold that property enough to when that investment mature. That's the property that they sold at 1.2 million or 1.5 million. Right now, that same property is valued at 3 million. So when the ROI of an investment is still low, is a sign that you should not sell yet. It doesn't mean that you made a bad investment decision. No, but I've seen people come to my DM and tell me that, okay, we invested in so location so years ago, and the price is still this. compared to other locations where the price is now that. See, the property maturity for every location differs. Just because Ibeju-Lekki was selling at maybe 1.5 million 2 years ago or 3 years ago and now it's 4 million, is not a benchmark for every location. Ibeju-Lekki has been Ibeju-Lekki for ages. Some people bought Ibeju-Lekki in 2005 for 300,000, 200,000, 150,000. Some bought Ibeju-Lekki at 2010 for 600,000, 700,000, and some people are buying Ibeju-Lekki now for 7 million. So it doesn't matter. So Ibeju-Lekki and Ekpe are not a benchmark for you to compare every other location. If you bought a land in Ekpe 2 years ago and for 700k, and now that land is like 2 million, is 1.8 million, it doesn't mean that the land that you bought in another location and have not really doubled yet is a bad investment choice. No, it just means that that location have not hit the maturity yet. Some people bought Ekpe in 1990, some people bought Ekpe in 2000s, some people bought Ekpe in 2005. So, and they are selling now. They have hold for over 20 years. Some have hold for 15 years. Some have hold that property for 18 years. Some have hold that property for 12 years. So you need to understand that if the ROI is still low, you didn't make a bad investment choice. It just means that that property have not matured yet for you to sell. So don't look at it as, okay, let me just get 500,000 and let me just sell at the same amount that I bought it and just can't count my losses. No, you're not counting your losses. You are just being desperate. You are just being in a hurry. You just don't understand how real estate works. If the ROI is still low, you have to hold. It just means that you don't have to sell yet. You can buy a property at the Bangladesh right now at 25 million, and within a year you can sell at 35 million. It's because it's a Bangladesh. That's just it. So you can't compare that with a place that you bought at 500k and be expecting that same ROI and that same demand within a year. No. So the property appreciation, the property maturity in different locations, it differs. So if the ROI is still low, you hold, you don't sell. Now, fourthly, you don't sell when others are selling. When others are selling, you hold. That's how to become rich in real estate. A property that everyone bought at 5 million, then somehow they bought electricity to the location, the road have been done, and that location have gone to 7-8 million. Everybody is selling, they want to cash out. You hold your own, you let them sell. See, there's some people that bought Lekki Phase 1 at 5 million. They sold it when it become 10 million because they felt like that is the peak it can go. Some bought at 10 million, they sold it when it was 30 million because they thought that that's the peak it can go. Some bought at 30 million, they sold at 70 million because they thought that that's the peak it can go. While some people bought that same Lekki Phase 1 at 5 million, and today that land is 150 million, they are still holding. They are not yet selling. They are still holding it. Even though it's even 5 million deposit, they are still holding. The same thing for VGC. Some people bought VGC 5 million, 3 million. Today, they are still holding. Even when that property is selling at 120, 130 million, they are still holding. Because you need to understand that you don't sell when others are selling. Because the price has doubled does not mean that that's the peak. No. That property will still go far higher than that. And as long as others are selling right now, it means that your competition is getting less. You bought at 5 million, everyone sold at when it was 7 million. You have less competition. So by the time you want to sell, you can set any price on it. You are going to sell. Even if the people that bought at 7 million bring their own back to the market, maybe they bought their own back to the market at 15 million, and you feel like, okay, I want to sell. Because that is sell at 12 million, you are still making more profit than them. They will not want to do 12 million because they are looking at the profit is low. But you can do 12 million because you bought at 5 million. So that's why you don't sell when others are selling. You ensure that the competition is low. That's when you now sell. So if others are selling, you hold. Now the last but not the least, you don't sell yet when you are in an emergency. You don't sell real estate when you are desperate. Real estate is not for emergency funds. That's why you must have two forms of investments: solid assets and liquid assets. Liquid assets are for emergencies, a place where you can go and just break your fixed deposits, sell your stock, sell your dividends, and then get your money back. That's it. But for real estate, it's for long-term wealth building. You want to build wealth, so you don't sell where you are. It's better for you to go to a bank with your property documents and get a loan than to sell because you are in an emergency, you are desperate. No, you should sell at your own time, at your own pace, and at your own price. No rush, no hurry. If they are not buying now, they will buy it later because land is getting scarce. Nobody is producing land again. So that portion you have, there is no replicate for it, there is no duplicate for it. As long as there is a demand for it, you will sell. So you don't sell yet when you are in an emergency. So those are the 5 signs. Those are the 5 signs you should not touch your real estate investment yet. When the company are still selling, when others are still selling, the return is low, it's investors that are buying, and you are in an emergency, you don't touch your real estate investment yet. You hold at that period of time. So if you have any comments, you have any feedback, or any question regarding some of the points I made in this video about your real estate investments, you are considering if it's the right time for you to sell or for you to flip, you can also drop a comment about that. You can drop a comment about that, and then I will share my opinion, my advice with you. So assuming number one property guy on the planet, if you have learned a lot from this video, don't forget to give us a thumb like, and kindly also share with your friends, share with your contacts, so that they can learn from the tips that you have been sharing here. Thanks once again, and see you next time.